Saving for your vacation. There are many effective ways to save for your family vacation. When you spend 40 hours a week slaving at your job, you deserve to have some time to get away from the rat race, relax, and enjoy your family. Unless you're independently wealthy, you'll need a plan for saving up the money you need. While this may seem like a simple proposition, some people find it difficult to lay aside some money each pay period. The key here is discipline. Open up a separate savings account specifically meant for your vacation money. If your employer offers direct deposit, you can usually specify a certain amount of money be put into this account. Some banks will schedule an automatic direct transfer to your savings account if you don't have direct deposit or if you are not able to deposit money into two separate accounts. Examine the amount of money your family spends weekly or monthly on family entertainment and fast food restaurants. Then reduce that amount, storing the remainder away for your trip. So that a pending vacation doesn't become a joy buster, shop around for freebie and reduced cost entertainment options to enjoy during the months before you depart. Another good way to save up money is to save your change. When you use cash, resolve to only use paper money. Then take the change you receive and put it aside at the end of every day. You'll be surprised at how quickly it can build up. One family reported that they kept a vacation jar in a convenient place and each family member would deposit change and the occasional dollar bill into it. When they emptied the jar and had it counted, they had managed to save $5,000, enough for them to enjoy a tropical getaway to Grand Cayman Island. While you may not have that much in your change jar, emptying it at vacation time can mean extra spending money or that little boost you need to go on your dream vacation. Be sure and involve your kids in the saving venture. This is a great time to teach the valuable lessons of saving and budgeting money. Look for other ways to add extra cash to the vacation coffer. One family we know would save aluminum cans and take them into the recycling plant periodically for cash. Throughout the course of a year, they managed to accumulate an extra $1,000 for their vacation. You could have a rummage sale to earn extra vacation cash as well. There are plenty of opportunities out there to add to your vacation savings. You just need to think outside of the box and resolve that any extra cash you get will go toward your family vacation. You need to budget realistically. Vacations need not be expensive. Budget an amount and stick to it. If you're driving, set a fixed spending amount, $150 per day, for example. Include all of your expenses, gas, meals, admissions, special activities, etc. Involve your children in the process. Share with them that conserving money on one day allows them to go to a water park on another day. Be creative. To save money, you can eat only one meal in a restaurant per day. For the other two, prepare your own food and either eat in the hotel room or have a picnic. Take turns letting the kids choose the type of food, and, if you are really adventurous, the restaurant, each day. This way, the children feel important and it minimizes arguments. A good point to also keep in mind when determining how much you can afford to spend on a vacation is to be sure that you consider other periodic expenses that may be waiting for you when you return, such as back-to-school costs, holiday expenses and next year's taxes. That's why we highly recommend a separate account for your vacation savings. That way you have your vacation money separate from your everyday money and won't have to stress about robbing Peter to pay Paul when you get home from your trip. The next key to a successful getaway on a budget is to plan. Beginning your vacation plan. The first thing you must do is plan early. Spontaneity works well for day trips but is not as effective for longer jaunts. By planning early, you will find cheaper fares and more available accommodations. You can also have the opportunity to save any additional funds you might need, perhaps include extended invitations to other family members, and get together all the paperwork you might need if traveling abroad. While planning, it's a good idea to stay flexible in your desires. Flexibility equals maximum pleasure for everyone. This is especially true if you have special needs due to a disability or are taking along teens and children who will want to do different things. Get your children involved too. This will not only make them much more enthusiastic about the trip, but they can provide their input into what types of activities they want to do and what types of activities they'd like to do as a family. They'll be much more excited when they are fully involved in deciding where the family will be vacationing, so be sure to get their opinions too. You probably already have some kind of idea as to what you'll be able to afford when taking a vacation. If you do have a specific number in mind, this makes it much easier to pick out a destination. You can research what's available in your price range and choose the trip that will best fit your family. If you don't have a specific number in mind, make a list of your dream vacations. Include those places you've always wanted to go as well as places you think would fit the personalities of your family. See what these types of vacations will cost, and then pick the one you think you can save for or afford to take right away. Getting there. There are many ways to arrive at your vacation destination. Once upon a time, the only way a family could afford a vacation was to load up the car and head out on the road. How many of you remember these long trips? I certainly do. But you don't necessarily have to drive to vacation anymore. There are all kinds of options today that are affordable and much more enjoyable. Driving. If you will be driving, gas prices will be a huge consideration. At the time of this book's writing, gas in the Midwest is running just under $3 per gallon. If you're going to be driving more than 300 miles, depending on the gas mileage of your vehicle, it will probably be cheaper to fly. We suggest that you drive only if you are going to a location that isn't too very far from your home. There can be huge advantages, however, to driving. You won't have to worry as much about dates and times. You can just pack up and go. There's something to be said for seeing the country out the windows of a car. It can be a learning experience for your children as they get to see the beautiful nation they live in. This is a good time to foster conversation with your family as well. When there's not much else to do along the way, tell each other stories, share your thoughts and memories with them. You'll all learn so much if you do. The next section explores specific ways to make car travel on vacation not only bearable, but enjoyable. Flying. With airlines competing for business today, air travel is more affordable than it once was. Booking early for airfare will save you a lot of money. Booking ahead is important to getting a fair rate. Family travel is centered around school holidays, making space at a premium. The farther out you book, the better your chances that you will get what you want. It's a question of supply and demand. When demand is high, prices are high. It is suggested you try to plan trips 10 months to a year in advance, so you get what you want and don't feel like you have to settle for what you can get. You'll probably find the best deals online at one of the sites we mentioned above. They're easily navigable and you can get instant availability reports along with alternative suggested routes. When booking airfare online, don't overlook discount and international airlines. Some are not listed on the big travel portal websites, even though they might have a lower fare to your destination. Also be sure to compare rates for alternate airports within a reasonable traveling distance. You might live half an hour from a major airport, but the smaller airport a couple hours away might have substantially lower fares. Check for alternate airports near your destination, too. Be flexible about your arrival and departure dates. The major travel portals all have options to search for the cheapest flights within a range of dates. Any one of these alternatives could potentially save you hundreds of dollars. Many credit card companies offer frequent flyer miles when you use their cards for purchases. This is a great way to save on air travel by taking advantage of this service. Use your credit card for almost every purchase you make, then cash in at vacation time. It could mean free airfare for you and your family. Of course, it could also mean large credit card bills and unpaid balances, so spend wisely. Only use the card for things you would purchase normally, not on extravagant items just to get the mileage. Don't throw away your junk mail. Sometimes inside those coupon packages, there will be discounts for air travel. One person almost threw away her Valpak envelope, but decided to go through it just in case there was anything in there she could use. Lo and behold, there was a certificate for $100 off travel with a discount airline. The coupon was good for up to 4 tickets, so each member of her family flew to Florida for just $54 each round trip. Finally, you can go to a travel agent to book your flight. They are very knowledgeable about the airline business and can often save you tons of cash if you let them know that is your biggest priority. They'll give you free rate quotes as well, so when you call, you can see if a flight will fit into your budgeted plan. Here are some valuable tips to help you save on airfare when booking yourself. Airlines usually reload their computers at midnight, so as soon after that as possible is a good time to shop online for low-cost seats that folks might have reserved but not paid for. When one airline announces a sale to a particular destination, chances are the others will soon follow suit, so be on the lookout and call or click around. Use the internet to search out last-minute bargain weekend fares. Most airlines' websites have a place where drastically reduced weekend fares are available. Start checking on Wednesday for the weekend ahead. Trains. Many songs have been written about the country's love for trains and the rail system. Most of them, however, are about hopping a freight train bound for Georgia or some other unseemly way to travel. Train travel isn't like that anymore. Today's trains are luxury vehicles that rival many airplanes. They provide for roomy seats, dining cars, club cars, and even sleeping berths for really long trips. The best part is, these conveniences don't always come at a premium price. Amtrak, the country's major train service, offers up many discount plans for budget-savvy travelers. Since it's a family vacation, we assume you will probably have children along. If these passengers are age 15 or under, they get to travel at half price. You can also find money-saving coupons in mailings and online. All you have to do is look around. And don't forget to ask for discounts. If you don't ask, they probably won't be offered up to you even though they might be available, so take a moment when booking and say, "Can you get that rate any lower?" Long car trips are long and storied in family vacation history. The tales abound and grow larger with each telling as each family member recounts the horrendous story of the 18-hour drive to the Grand Canyon. Is there any way to make the vacation drive easier? You bet. Are we there yet? When vacation season approaches, many families plan to take to the road in order to escape the stress of the daily grind. A poorly planned family road trip can be a greater source of frustration than many families realize. Unfortunately, these families tend to encounter this frustration halfway into the vacation, at a time when little can be done to remedy it. The level of stress during the trip is in direct proportion to the quality of planning done before pulling out of the driveway. It can be so disappointing to make travel plans in order to promote family togetherness only to get to the destination with parents and children at each other's throats. But when parents discover how simple planning can make the trip fun and memorable, the difference in the quality of the actual vacation is measurable. Having the right tools on the road can make all the difference between the success and failure of the actual vacation. First, take time to plot out a trip that includes pre-planned rest stops, a cooler of refreshments to avoid high-priced rest stop and fast food prices, music and books on tape, and lots of activities for the kids in the back. Keep everyone occupied with ghost, 20 questions, punch buggy and license plate bingo, then try a scavenger hunt, a tin foil sculpture contest and penny ante. Try leaving for your trip at a time other than in the morning or mid-afternoon. You may even want to leave in the early or late evening. There's something to be said for the lull of the road to put bickering kids to sleep. Just be sure the driver is able to stay awake. Transportation. If your plan is to go beyond your place of lodging, which it probably will be, you'll need to consider outside transportation. These are a matter of taste and what is most important to you in the area of convenience and price. You may like having your own car to be able to go where you please when you please, but that can be expensive. There are other options. Rental cars. If you do want to rent a car, there are a couple of things to keep in mind. When procuring a rental car, get the smallest one that your family can fit into comfortably. There's no need to spend extra money on luxury when an economy car will still get you to where you need to go. You'll have to decide on whether or not you want to buy the rental insurance offered by the company. We won't tell you one way or another because there are advantages and disadvantages either way. If you are comfortable enough with driving and feel you can be careful enough to avoid any accidents, then waive the insurance. You may want to check with your own auto insurance plan before you leave to see if you are covered under that policy while you're operating a rental car. Local buses. Well, this section is going to be short. You can also utilize the local bus service of the city you are staying in. What's the advantage? It's cheap. What's the disadvantage? It can take quite a while for you to get to your destination. Taxicabs. We'll just come right out and say it, taxicabs are expensive, bottom line. Yet sometimes, they are unnecessarily evil when you are traveling. If you do have a schedule you are trying to stick to, they can be a lifesaver getting you to the show you have tickets for on time or the restaurant who frowns on people late for their reservations. The key to taking taxicabs is to tell the driver up front where you are going and ask what the estimated fare will be. If it's within your budget, hop in. If it's not, you'll need to figure out another way to get to your destination. That's the plain and simple truth. Eating well on a travel budget. When you're traveling it can be difficult to find good food at reasonable prices, especially if you happen to be staying in a big city that has an established food and restaurant culture. When you're faced with a budget, you want to try and maximize your enjoyment per buck. If you want to eat well and sample the local cuisine for a budget price, you'll need to do a little research to find that perfect restaurant that offers a balance between quality and price. You want to go somewhere that everyone will delight in. And if you're dealing with young children, you need to be sure there's enough downtime, as well. Because, in the end, all the money in the world can't make your kids happy. And if they aren't enjoying themselves, you won't either. Family vacations can become more about tradition than where you go, so keep this in the forefront of your mind. If your kids know that every June you are going to go somewhere as a family, they are going to enjoy the experiences even more. Don't get overly caught up in worrying about money. Set your budget, stick to it, and have fun. Everyone can have a memorable family vacation no matter how much money you have to spend. It takes research, planning, and the desire to make more family memories than you already have. Happy travels!